All right, we're going to be doing some Erik Karlsson trade proposals. So I guess the Oilers are looking into him again. So let's kind of go over a couple of conversations of what I'm thinking and what would potentially work out. We're actually using Cap Friendly to go through all this. So let's just jump right into it. So you can see Cap Friendly right here. So I'm going to be looking over a lot. So you have Cap Friendly. We're going to be going with the team. So there's a proposed 3 teams, right? There's 60 days left in the season. So it kind of gives you an idea of the cap hit. We're just going to leave the cap salary where it's at. And so we're just gonna move on from there. So we'll grab our first team. So of course we're gonna be working with Erik Karlsson. So we need the San Jose Sharks, right? Okay, so it gives us an idea of how much relief they have, what draft picks and everything they have, and we're gonna go to. We want to click. Where is Carlson? Going to Erik Karlsson right here. Okay, we're gonna click him. He's gonna be our guy that we're going to be going around, right? So mind you, this is how much is going to be going out and how much we want to retain and everything. So let's go with that real quick. Now he is doing very well again. So he has 70 points in 53 games. So he's doing very well. So now the Sharks just said they're willing to retain 38%. So I did this on my calculator earlier. I'll jump over here, see my calculator. The 11.5 million, which is what his cap hit is, into the about 38%. So that's $4,370,000 every year. They're going to be retaining that. So, and mind you, you got to remember how long his actual contract is. If we actually look that up, so we go Erik Karlsson, cap friendly, go down to here, go to cap friendly. Jump over. You can see this is his. By the way, these are so nice. To kind of give it a whole breakdown. You can see no movement clause. By you, this is also pending that he wants to go there, right? So he has to actually say, "Hey, I want to be traded. I want to go there." That's why they have these things called the no move clause right here. So this is the year of our Lord 2022, 2023, and this contract goes another 4 years after this. So San Jose's going to be, holding on to, let's go our Canadian calculator again. Well, it's not up right now. We go to our calculator. Jumping over, right? So again, we did the 11.5 million times 0.38%, right? Equals that much. Times for the next 4 years, they're going to be retaining 17 million. So that's kind of what we're working with. Now, the Oilers are getting an amazing player in Erik Karlsson, and he is clearly performing very well this year, playing to that Norris caliber, probably going to win the Norris. And this is one of those things where you're getting the good player, but he's worth a lot. He's worth a lot, and he's very expensive too, right? The cost is really there. So while you're retaining a player like this, so you talk about like, let's go with the Tarasenko trade, right? Tarasenko was a first. They got the New York Rangers are sending over a first-round draft pick to cover that $3.5 million in cash, right? So kind of relating that, if Erik Karlsson is going to be about $4 million in cash every year, that should be four first-round draft picks. But it's so his cap hit is so huge that it doesn't make sense they don't want to do that, right? The Sharks are trying to offload him while also trying to get some assets back. So we're going to go here again. We're going to assume 38%. Retained, right? So that means that the cap hit's only going to be $7 million, which is great. So let's do that. Let's go. Okay, now we're going to be working with a second team, right? So let's go to team 2. Okay. So again, we heard the Edmonton Oilers are the ones that are going to be looking to do that. They have this much in cap relief, right? So we assume they're going to send over a first-round draft pick. That just makes sense, right? And probably, in my opinion, I think they're going to send 2. So just straight up 2 trades, right? So you're looking at the 2 right here. You have 2 first-round draft picks for Erik Karlsson. That is $6 million. That is going off of the. So this is kind of where the cool breakdown is too. So Edmonton Oilers only have 1.1 cap hit available, right? And so since they're taking on that $7+ million of Erik Karlsson, they have to free up $6 million in cap, right? Now there was speculation that they're going to put Jesse Puljujärvi on waivers, right, which is about a $3 million cap hit. But since they have not done that yet, let's say they want to offload that contract, right? And let's say that he's a fresh start in the Sharks organization. So we're going to get see Puljujärvi. Jump over here. I'd love to throw Connor McDavid on this. It'd be so funny. Let's see Puljujärvi. Where are you at? All right, right here. So you go down, scroll down to the trade. You can see, okay, now that so going back will be Jesse Puljujärvi and 2 first-round draft picks and Erik Karlsson, right? But there's still $3 million that they need to free up, right? So, and this is also a forward, right? So that means all that the Edmonton Oilers are acquiring a defenseman. So why would they might have extra defensemen now? So why don't we offload someone that's a little more salary heavy that maybe isn't performing up to that contract as well, right? So we're going to stick with cap friendly. We're going to go to teams, and we are going to go to the Edmonton Oilers over here. So look up the Edmonton Oilers. Where are you at? You're in the Central Pacific? There you are, Pacific. Okay. So again, we're going to go to their defensemen, right? So here are their forwards. Here are the defensemen, and we want someone that it makes sense to move, right? They're not going to move Darnell Nurse. They're too expensive, and they have too much invested in him, right? What you want to do is you want someone that maybe doesn't have as much upside that you can also take the cap hit off of, right? So it doesn't have necessarily a long contract, because the Sharks don't want just bad contracts. They want people that are usable, that are going to work long term. Oh, my apologies, right? So you're looking. And also, you got to take position into consideration here too, right? If we're going to Erik Karlsson up here, we go to Erik Karlsson, right? Jumping over back to the teams, scrolling up teams, right? You can go team right here, go back down to Erik Karlsson. He is a right-handed defender, right? So why don't we look at the Edmonton Oilers and see what right-handed defenders make sense to move? And so you can see. And you also have to think not only about the cap hit that is now, you think about age, and you think how long the contract is as well. So it makes sense. So you can see, even though Tyson Barrie right here, he'd be adding those 2 in the rest of this year and the next year, right? That's $9 million in cap. You can also see that this is actually going to, they sent over Cody Ceci, both right-handed defenders, right? But this one's a little bit longer and a little more expensive. So they might not be in the, I know the Sharks are not planning to do a rebuild, they're doing more of a retool, which to me they should be doing a rebuild, but that's besides the point. I am a Sharks fan, hence the jersey, right? Hence the hat. You know, I've had the hat for a long time. And again, we're going to be looking at some of those. Those are just right-handed defensemen, right? So you have Tyson Barrie and Cody Ceci. Those make sense to move because again, they cover that $3 million that we just talked about, right? Brett Kulak is a little more value. You can see his contract's a little bit longer too. He's the second longest signed defenseman that they have, and he also can play both sides. So, and you think right-handed defense? Oh, Evan Bouchard, maybe him. Well, he's a rookie. He's one of your futures, so you don't want to be moving a player like that, right? And then Vincent Deschanarias, again, low cap it. You want someone like that. He's still young, still has a lot to prove. So you're really looking at someone like Tyson Barrie or Cody Ceci. Now, you aren't going to do this for free. So you also think about why would Sharks do this? Why would the Sharks try and say, oh, well, we'll help you out, right? But the Oilers do need to move out some cap space. So let's just assume, because make it nice and easy, it's a shorter deal, right? It's only 1 year after this. We're going to say Tyson Barrie. But the thing is the Sharks aren't just going to be nice about it. They don't want to just, hey, boy, we'll just take on your players just to make it work for you. They want something out of this. So to be taking on that extra cap hit as well. So we click on Tyson Barrie, right? All right, there you go. So they want something a little extra in that. Now they'll have to move out. It looks like again we get another hiccup. The Sharks will have their roster will be a little bit bigger, so they'll have to send someone down in the AHL. But we can still make this work. So they're like, oh, we're not just taking out Tyson Barrie just because, so they're probably going to end up getting a second round pick out of this. So and of course Edmonton does want to get some of that draft capital. So let's go up here and we're going to go to, I think it would be good for the Edmonton Oilers to give a second round pick. Let's go, it's going to be 2024 because the thing is that they're going to want to, they have to get 2025 away. Ooh, maybe, okay. So it may make more sense. So instead of a second round pick, let's go probably, so you want the Edmonton Oilers don't want to miss the first and second round in this one, so they'll probably send out like, let's say a third and a fourth. Let's go with that, a third and a fourth in 2025. This makes sense to me. That's the price you're paying for taking on a contract like that. You're taking on that extra contract to make them, and that's $4 million, right? Again, we just talked about the fact that the St. Louis Blues retained 50% on Tarasenko, which was a $7 million. It was a $7 million cap hit, so they retained $3.5 million. Now we have, and they got the first round draft pick, right? So they're sending the good player away, and they're retaining salary. So they need something. The person who's sending away their good player, they need it to make sense for them. So this is why they're going to say, okay, we'll give you some. We'll say, okay, here's the 2 first rounds for Erik Karlsson. We'll give you a good player, a player that needs a new start, right, in Jesse Puljujarvi. And we're taking in Tyson Barrie's contract. Here's a third and a fourth round pick. All right, we'll just make it just a little more separated. We'll go a fourth round in 2044. Right there, you give it a little bit of disparity, right? This to me, this exactly is what makes sense. So again, we'll just have to move down a roster player. So maybe because they also want to shore up the front line, their depth. The Edmonton Oilers want to shore up their forward depth. If we go to, let's just go, not centers. They don't want a center. Like, they would love a center, but I don't think they're going to send a center. We need a roster player, right? And McBudino, he has a no trade clause. Let's go with the Mason cap hit. You're not doing Moon Hurdle. Nico Sturm, maybe, but I think they like Nico Sturm, so I don't think they'd want that. That's $2 million is too much. Maybe Steven Laurence. He gives you a little bit extra. So here you go. You can have 10 points in 51 games. Plays a little bit of hard-nosed game. I could see that. That makes sense, and that would be a good depth forward, right? You can play all 3 positions. So let's do that. That makes sense to me. So in my opinion, this is how the trade will go, or something of this caliber, I would say. So you have, let's go review its reviews. You have Erik Karlsson and Steven Laurence going to the Edmonton Oilers, right? And coming in is Jesse Puljujarvi with a fresh start, and a 2 first round draft picks. That's going to be covering Erik Karlsson, the good player leaving, and the fact that they are taking on that type of cap hit for that long, for the 4 years afterwards. And then they're also going to send, Edmonton Oilers also be sending out Tyson Barrie, and we sending over a 3rd and a 4th round draft pick to cover the price. I actually think that's actually cheaper than what it would be. I think that they would probably want a little bit more, but I'm trying to make this a little more reasonable. But this to me is a trade that makes sense, and why you'd want it like this. This makes sense. You're getting in a phenomenal Norris winner in Erik Karlsson. I'm a big EK65 fan. So I'm a little biased, but this is why you pick up a big player like this, because it's going to cost you, right? I'd probably throw in another pick. I'd probably even throw in a 2nd round pick in there, just because that just makes sense to me. But this is kind of what you're looking at. You're looking at something big like this, where Edmonton Oilers are picking up a high caliber player. You're thinking about, like, McDavid is winning all these awards, right? Erik Karlsson has done that as well, right? You're picking up these high caliber players, like you're thinking like Hedman or like Vasilevsky. These are these big players on, like, Tampa, to say the least. So, like, where you're having this stacked team, but it costs. They're fortunate they drafted them. But if you don't draft someone like this, if you don't draft a D person like this, then you need to really give for that, which is why it makes sense for them to just move out this much for Erik Karlsson. So this is the final draft, what's happening. Erik Karlsson, Steven Laurence going to the Oilers, and leaving the Oilers and going to the San Jose Sharks is Tyson Barrie, Jesse Puljujarvi, a 1st and 2nd round draft pick in 2023, 2024. And a 2024, 2025, 3rd and 4th round pick to cover that Tyson Barrie. So, anyways, let me know what your thoughts are. Appreciate you watching everything, jumping in, and this is my new setup. So let me know what your thoughts are. I don't know if I like the yellow. I feel like it's a little bit of a bug. Kind of don't like this extra space over here, but it's all right. Well, we're figuring it out. Kind of clashes with the green, but we're figuring it out. So, anyways, let me know what your thoughts are. Appreciate it. Like, subscribe. Love you.